Is Creation Club a success? I feel like this video is guaranteed to be at least semi-controversial. There's going to be people with a resounding yes, people with a resounding no, and people really upset whether it is or it is not. Regardless, what I want to look at today, again, is whether or not Creation Club is a success and some of the just pillars or major aspects of that. I'm going to break this video up into 3 distinctive parts, so to start things off, let's actually take a look at the program. What is Creation Club itself? There's a lot of misinformation and just people communicating the wrong things about this. How mod authors get paid, how much they get paid is something that is quite often having misinformation involved. So basically, Creation Club is something available for Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It allows you to buy packs of points. From there, these points will allow you to purchase add-ons in the game that are put up on the store. A major point of this controversy is actually this disassociation of currency, so you can't just buy the things directly. Having to buy packs of points is pretty frustrating, especially when you want something relatively inexpensive. This has 2 things. Obviously, there's a larger barrier to entry. Maybe more people would buy that $5 armor if they didn't have to spend $8 on points. But at the same time, and I'm sure the way Bethesda looks at this is, a lot of people that are going to buy that $5 armor are going to give them $8 for that, and that's a process that will continue. So how do you actually get people in the Creation Club? Well, a lot of the content we've seen so far has been by Bethesda Game Studios internally, basically just developers they have on staff producing a lot of this content, porting it over from other games. But also probably the more interesting part is how they recruit mod authors from the community. You can either apply to be in the program, or in the first wave, I know they've reached out to a lot of different people. This has actually been met with a different response. Some people are boycotting people's mods that are in Creation Club. Obviously, everyone's not known, but there's without a doubt been a split among mod authors. Some of them proudly labeling that they are in Creation Club, such as Eleonora. I know she's pretty happy to be in the program, and oftentimes does come in defense of it. Or on the flip side, you have people like Axis, who a lot of people know is in the program, but he doesn't really talk about it all that much or publicize it on any of his social media. That's not really to say one of these people is right and one is wrong. If you're in the program, people will invariably know about it, and whether you want to talk about it is your own accord. So again, the idea that these mod authors are only getting paid very little is totally outlandish. Basically, the way it works is you pitch something to Bethesda, you get accepted, get paid instantly, then release an alpha, beta, and release variant of whatever mod you are going to be producing. You get paid at each individual step of this process. And again, we don't know hard-hitting numbers. I imagine it will vary depending on the size and scope of the mod. Is it going to be a $2 mod? Is it going to be a $5 mod? But it's definitely in the thousands at each individual milestone. I don't think anyone is making under, let's say, 3 or 4 grand here. You're talking about some pretty intensive and difficult work that without a doubt requires a very particular set of skills. And just the idea that people are throwing around numbers in the hundreds or 1,000 for the whole thing is totally wrong. And honestly, you should just stop. The response. So there's obviously the backlash that the community has had to this program. It started with its original announcement. That video has a ton of dislikes, but even beyond that, just bad reviews for Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Steam actually has this new thing where they're trying to censor around just mass bad reviewing games, which is totally understandable. Fallout 4 isn't a bad game, but if you look at the reviews, you might think it is. There's actually been a pretty big mix from the community. Some people in support of Creation Club, a very small minority. Some people are vehemently against it. They want nothing to do with this program and they want it closed immediately, and a third group that really just wants it to be better. That's where I fall. I think Creation Club has potential to be cool. Right now it's not that cool, but hopefully we do see improvements as time goes on. One of the big fears of the community is, as a result of Creation Club, Bethesda are going to start monetizing more aspects of their games. One such indication is Skyrim Survival Mode. Basically, in Skyrim Special Edition's Creation Club, you can buy Survival Mode. This was made by a third party, a mod author, that was inducted into the program. But regardless, Fallout 4 had a Survival Mode totally for free that's arguably of equal quality. So the fear is that this sets a precedent for Bethesda, let's say in Fallout 5 with its Creation Club, to include survival mode in there in addition to, let's say, like settlement building. I mean, obviously time will tell with this. I think Bethesda would be very stupid to do that. I think there'd be a massive negative response if a game obviously ships with features lacking and they put that behind a paywall. I personally don't believe that's going to be their ideology with Creation Club. I think it's always going to be additions to the game. Skyrim's a very old game, only getting survival mode now. It honestly probably would have never got survival mode if not for Creation Club. I just think that's something to keep in mind. Bethesda also changed the price of that. It was originally $8 and now it was reduced to $5, or really 500 points. So they do definitely hear some of this response from the community. They've tweaked a few other bugs that were associated with the program, which was also a part of this massive negative response. But the other big portion of this is people afraid that they're going to be killing free mods. Some of the more cynical out there see this as a multitude of different moves from Bethesda to actually take down free mods. First, the introduction of Bethesda.net, trying to split the community, make it so more people go to that platform, the one Bethesda has complete control over rather than Nexus, then the relatively small storage capacity for mods on consoles, and finally of course the release of Creation Club. All this being Bethesda saying, alright, no more free mods, we want that process to be as limited as possible, and we want you to put more money into our games and buy Creation Club creations. I think this is totally outlandish. I think Bethesda would be stupid to do this because nobody would really want to play their games anymore. I fall into that category. If Bethesda got rid of free mods entirely or put heavy limitations on them, I have no interest in playing Fallout or Skyrim. I only play them for the mods. So maybe I'm just biased there because I don't think it's true, but that part of the response from the community I really just don't agree with. And even despite all this, the response from the Skyrim and Fallout community has been gradually dying down. I think it's just people getting bored with hating Creation Club, but if you look at the news, if you look at people hating on it, there's going to be less and less of them as time goes on. It kind of got a breath of new life with Skyrim's release, but before that, nobody was even really talking about Creation Club anymore in Fallout modding, and the second release or second phase of releases for Fallout 4 didn't receive nearly as much negativity as the first ones. There's definitely an argument to be made that there's a intrinsic value of bad PR that is going to cost Bethesda money. There are people out there that will no longer buy Bethesda games as a result of this program, but at the same time, I think what we're seeing here is largely a vocal minority. I don't think no one is going to buy Bethesda games anymore, and I don't think there's as many people as unhappy as it may seem. The money. So probably the most important in the success of Creation Club from a business standpoint, aka Bethesda is a business. Are they actually making money off this program? It's hard to tell. Obviously we have no concrete numbers, but regardless, it doesn't really feel like on PC that's going to be true. Maybe Bethesda is profitable, but a lot of people on PC simply aren't participating in the program. They have a ton of free mods, a ton of mods that do exactly the same thing, and just a whole extra layer of functionality with the script extenders for Fallout 4 and Skyrim. But switching over to consoles, there's a new precedent for paying for your games. PC has Steam, as well as it's totally free to play games on PC. You obviously need a PC and internet connection and all that, but otherwise you don't have things like PlayStation Plus and Xbox One Gold membership. These are monthly costs that console players are just used to having to pay. Even beyond that, they oftentimes pay more for the same games as PC users. Steam and a lot of the other PC platforms always have a ton of sales. I think a large part of this is due to the competitive nature of PC markets. You could download or buy a game from a lot of places: Origin, Steam, GMG, GOG. On consoles, you get your game either from the Xbox store or the PlayStation store. There's not a huge variety here, and those two definitely have monopolized the market. For that reason, you're just going to find yourself paying more for each individual game, although the overall system cost is definitely lower. From that, it's not really a far step to say that console users are a little bit more likely to spend money on something like Creation Club. Buying one of the $20 packs isn't as crazy to them when they already have to pay $10 a month. In my eyes, at least, PC users definitely seem to just be a bit cheaper. Plus, the obvious aspect that PS4 users don't have custom assets. Creation Club is going to be totally new and fresh to them, and I know of a lot of PS4 users that did participate in the program and really love it. So overall, I think it's going to be a resounding yes. Creation Club is successful for Bethesda. The hate on it is dying down. It's only going to die down further. The quality of mods in the program are improving, so if you're someone that just wants to see it fail, it's definitely not going in the right direction to help that case. And even beyond all that, I think consoles are really driving forward a lot of the payments in the program. A lot of the money for it is coming from them, and it's going to continue, while a lot of the hate for it is coming from PC players, but they're not buying it. So although they were loud, it's really not having as much of an effect as you would hope. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you found it informative. This is just kind of my long take on Creation Club as a whole. As always, again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.